Good morning, UPBOptionMillionaires.com. It is a Thursday, April 9, 2015. Stock futures are flat to start the trading day. You can look back to yesterday's action. We had a nice ramp at the open, a pullback. Same thing, late in the day, Fed minutes came out. We had a pullback, a move to the upside. So it's just more of a consolidation phase that we're in. You can see even this morning, pullback at the European market open when it opened for trade. We bounced. We're pulling back again. Jobs report. Weekly jobless claims came out, lowest level since June of 2000, pretty wild. But if you look, we're still consolidating here. We're maintaining support. Have we put in a lower high, or we just have a nice wedge forming for a blast to new highs? That's what I'm looking for. The S&P 500, the recent consolidation since the start of February is starting to narrow a little bit. When we see a narrowing of the price range, I expect an explosion. I think it's going to happen to the upside. Looking for 210.50 on the SPY. We'll see if that happens. Crude oil has been really volatile as it is bottoming, or have we just bounced and we're starting to head lower again? We'll see what happens. Crude oil is actually up 1.5% this morning, but I'm expecting to pull back because that's what's happened after we've had these large spikes to the upside. I don't know if this is akin to a stone skipping off a pond. The stone is thrown back in the summer, and now we're skipping off the pond until we run out of momentum and fall under 40 for crude oil. I see a lot of people still calling for a bottom, and possibly we are putting in one, maybe an inverted head and shoulders pattern, which means we get a move back to about 45 before we rocket higher. I'm not so sure on that. We'll see what happens. If we do see the U.S. dollar weaken, that will probably put a bit under crude oil, and you see the U.S. dollar again. I think it's going to come down to the $95 level. The bond market performing pretty well here. You can look this morning was up over yesterday's session highs, but it's since started to pull back. We'll see if we get back to yesterday's low. It seems like we get bonds selling off early in the session and then recovering those losses as the day progresses. Let's look at some individual names. China. China's doing very well. The stocks, at least. Stocks not necessarily reflecting the economies of countries around the globe, right? It's just the monetary policy and central banks manipulating asset prices. But look at FXI, which tracks Chinese large cap companies, up, 6% yesterday. The options were up some 1,000%. Some of the individual China names, like Sina, was up, 11% yesterday. Look at that candle to the upside. Baidu was up, and Baidu was up, gapping up again this morning. Baba was up, and if you look at Baba, Yahoo was up on the heels of that as well, up a big move. The 43.50s were something like 35 cents at the close 2 days ago, now worth over $1.50. So, a nice move. And when you get an options market that's not anticipating a big move, you make a lot of money there. Let's look at some other individual names. I talked about it to start the week, and I tweeted this via private Twitter on the Option Millionaires handle. I talked about 7 stocks that I thought were going to move higher heading into this week. It was April 2nd when I tweeted this. I talked about Wynn Resorts, and I'll just pull in from a 5-day perspective. Actually, we'll do a 10-day. So April 2nd is when I tweeted that I liked Wynn for upside. It's up $5. Twitter was hanging tough at the $50 level. Is now up to, even though it's in spite of its pullback, had a nice spike up to start yesterday's session. And I think this stock still looks poised for upside. I think it's going to hit $56 in the short term. How about Amazon over the 380 handle yesterday? A big move to the upside, but if you look starting April 2nd, there wasn't even over 370 yet. Also talked about SSYS. I did a market video on that the last couple weeks. Over the key 55 level yesterday. April 2nd was at $52, so it's up almost $5. Triple D as well, another stock I did a market video on. Spiked up to the upside again 2 days ago. It's been pulling back a little bit, but still up significantly off the lows here, 27.25 on Friday. Also Tesla. Tesla's really breaking out. We had the first initial move up on Monday. The gap up, look at that, came right up to support, broke trendline resistance. That was a springboard to higher price that we broke over a long-term trend line here. And now we're continuing to move to the upside. And you can see back April 2nd was at $185. Now at $207. So it's been a very nice week so far for stocks. We'll see if we can continue to build upon that. Let's look at a couple other names here. Apple. I keep bringing this up as a stock that's recent consolidation. It's been a while, I know, but now we're starting to break out of it. You can almost bring this line across to a broadening descending wedge, and I think we're going to break to the upside for Apple, hit new record highs. But again, a negative analyst commentary this morning. Yesterday we had when the stock fell a little bit. This morning, we have another analyst coming out saying the stronger dollar is going to affect Apple, and they expect, in spite of keeping the target at 150, kind of speaking negatively about it, but the stock is up a little bit this morning. We'll see if we can hold those gains. Also watching Google. Google's at a very important juncture here. That 550 level, you can see it broke below it, came back to kiss it, as I said it would. If you listen, I guess, my video, but 2 trading days ago, I talked about Google possibly coming up to kiss this line. Now there's some news out this morning. Right now, it's right at that 550 level. If we can get back above it, obviously, it's going to be very bullish for the stock. But right now, I would trade it cautiously to the upside until we can break that with vigor and hold it. A couple other things to watch here. The bond market. TLT, the 20-year Treasury ETF, I do think is topped here. I think this is trend line resistance that is coming up against, and that it's going to fall down. Falling down, and I think at least a 122.50 level. We'll see if we get that pullback. We put in a lower high, and I think so. TLT is something I continue to trade for downside in spite of the fact that I bought some 129 puts this week that are not doing so well, absent a complete collapse. TLT, those will probably expire worthless. Let's watch some of the banks as well. JP Morgan Chase off support here. I believe they have earnings tomorrow, and I'm not much for earnings in the bank names, but I do think, and the options are still cheap if they do in fact report earnings tomorrow, that we're going to head over 62 for JP Morgan Chase. I think ultimately it's going to head back when this channel comes back into focus again at about the $68 range in the next couple months, which means Goldman's spectacular as well. These financials are doing well. I think it's going to make a move back over $200 for Goldman spectacular. And another stock I continue to like in the stock buyback world that we're in right now. 0% interest rate policy is here to stay for quite a long time. And I think if you look at Home Depot, to me, looks like a beautiful consolidation phase here for a spike up to new record highs for Home Depot. UOPB, OptionMillionaires.com. It's Thursday, April 9, 2015. I hope everyone has a great trading session. I'll see you in the chat room. I got some trades I'm going to make. It's going to be an exciting day. Goodbye.